Have you ever been told that after 60, desire should fade away? That intimacy belongs only to the young while age demands silence? Here is the shocking truth. That belief is not only wrong, it is harmful. Because even at 70, 80, or beyond, the need for touch, closeness, and connection still lives inside your heart. But society rarely talks about it. And when silence surrounds you, it can feel like maybe you are broken. Maybe you are not allowed to want this anymore. But I promise you, you are not broken. You are not past your time. And tonight we are going to open this door together. Before we begin, let me ask you, where are you watching from today? Your city, your state, or your country? Share it in the comments. And if this conversation already speaks to your heart, take a moment to subscribe. Because this channel is your safe space, a place where nothing is too personal to be understood. Stay with me until the very end, because the final truth we uncover may completely change how you see yourself. Now let's begin with the first truth. Truth number 1, desire doesn't retire. Desire does not disappear with age. It may grow quieter. It may be hidden beneath years of responsibility loss or silence, but it never retires. Take Margaret, age 73. She spent her life as a teacher in Ohio. One afternoon, sitting with her closest friend at a small cafe, her hands shook as she lifted her teacup. Finally, she whispered, "Do you think it's strange that I still want to feel close? Really close." Her friend didn't laugh. She didn't look shocked. She simply reached across the table and said softly, "I feel the same." And in that moment, Margaret felt something lift from her shoulders. She realized she wasn't ridiculous. She wasn't past her time. She was human, still alive, still deserving of love and tenderness. Aging changes the body, but it does not erase longing. The spark remains. The memories of closeness, the comfort of touch, the warmth of being seen, these live on. Whether you are in your 60s, 70s, or 80s, that spark deserves respect. Yet society often sends a cruel message. After menopause, women are expected to trade passion for politeness, to knit in silence, to speak no more of intimacy, especially oral intimacy. So many women stay silent. They do not confide in friends. They do not ask their doctors. Sometimes they do not even speak to their partners. That silence turns into shame, and shame is heavy. But let me say this clearly. You have the right to want, the right to feel your body come alive, the right to be touched and held if that is what your soul is asking for. You have lived through decades of giving. You have raised families, carried burdens, cared for others. Now you also deserve to receive care, to be loved, to be cherished. So I ask you, give yourself permission. Permission to feel, permission to want, permission to say yes. This still matters to me, because intimacy is not reserved for the young. It belongs to the living. And if you are still here listening closely, I invite you to type the number 1 in the comments. Let it be your quiet promise that you still believe in closeness, that you will not let silence erase your humanity. Now, maybe your heart still says yes, but your body feels hesitant. Maybe tenderness has started to bring discomfort. If that is you, stay with me, because what comes next is something many women never talk about, but nearly every woman faces. Truth number 2. Dryness is common, but it is not the end. For many women, the heart is ready for closeness, but the body whispers something different. A quiet discomfort, a sudden sting, a feeling that turns tenderness into pain. Let me share the story of Helen, age 69. She spent decades as a nurse, always strong, always caring for others. But when her husband reached for her hand with affection, she found herself pulling away. Not because she stopped loving him, not because she no longer wanted intimacy, but because every gentle touch brought pain. She stayed silent. She didn't tell her husband. She didn't tell her friends. She simply carried the discomfort alone. Until one day during a routine checkup, a young doctor leaned closer and asked, "Have you tried using a moisturizing gel?" That single question lit something inside her. For the first time, she felt seen. Here's the truth. After menopause, estrogen levels fall. This is natural, but when estrogen decreases, the tissues of the body lose moisture. What once felt soft and welcoming may now feel dry, tight, even painful, especially during oral intimacy, where comfort and gentleness matter so much. But dryness is not a stop sign. It is not a signal that intimacy must end. It is simply your body saying, please care for me a little more. And the good news is, help exists. There are non-hormonal gels made for women in their 60s and 70s. Water-based, plant-based pH balance simple tools to bring comfort back. Drinking enough water also matters. Hydration reaches every part of you, even the most delicate. And perhaps most important, do not rush. Give yourself time. Allow discovery. Allow laughter. Allow patience. Because intimacy at this stage is not about racing forward. It is about enjoying the journey slowly with tenderness. If you feel uncertain, speak with a doctor who truly listens. There are creams, there are therapies, there are gentle solutions that don't make you weak. They make you wise. You have adapted so many times in life. You adapted to raising children. You adapted to loss. You adapted to new beginnings. Adapting intimacy is no different. It is simply another way of caring for yourself. So if this part of the message touches you, type the number 2 in the comments. Let it be your reminder that comfort is still possible, that your story doesn't end here. Because once you begin to feel ready in both body and heart, another truth waits, one that many women overlook, yet it holds the power to protect your health and your joy. Truth number 3, hygiene matters more than you think. Closeness can be tender, it can be quiet, it can be the simple comfort of being seen. But sometimes what feels safe can still lead to discomfort if one small detail is forgotten. Hygiene. Let me tell you about Patricia, age 74. After years of marriage, she and her partner still enjoyed soft moments together. No pressure, no rush, just two people holding on to love. But after those moments, she began to notice an itch, then burning, then irritation that would not go away. At first, she thought it was just age. She tried to ignore it, but eventually she had no choice but to visit her doctor. And for the first time in 4 decades of appointments, someone finally asked her directly, "Are you and your partner engaging in oral intimacy?" Patricia froze. No one had ever asked her that before. The doctor then explained something she had never considered. Bacteria from the mouth can be transferred to the vaginal area. When she was younger, her immune system handled such things more easily. But now the body sometimes needs extra help. Here's what many women don't know. Oral intimacy is not risk-free. Even without penetration, infections like herpes, HPV, yeast, and urinary tract infections can still spread. Silence keeps women from learning this, and silence puts health at risk. But knowledge is not meant to frighten you. It is meant to prepare you. Simple habits can make intimacy safer, more comfortable, and far more enjoyable. Start with the basics. Both you and your partner should rinse your mouths with water or gentle mouthwash before being close. Use a pH balance cleanser for intimate areas. Avoid harsh soaps or fragrances that strip the body of its natural balance. Always wipe front to back. Choose breathable cotton underwear. Do not let moisture linger. If you wear dentures, remove and clean them properly. Bacteria can hide in places you might never expect. And if your partner smokes, understand this. Smoking changes the chemistry of the mouth. It increases the bacterial load. That means greater risk during intimacy. Again, this is not paranoia. It is preparation. It is care. Think of hygiene not as a burden, but as an act of kindness. The same way you wash your hands before cooking for your loved ones, you care for your body before closeness, because your body deserves that level of respect. If this truth speaks to you, type the number 3 in the comments. Let it be a gentle declaration: I care about my well-being. Because once you take steps to protect your body, you are ready for the next layer of truth. And this next truth is one that many women believe no longer applies to them, but it does, and ignoring it can carry serious consequences. Truth number 4, sexually transmitted infections don't retire. Many women believe that once they pass 60, the fear of sexually transmitted infections disappears. No risk, no worry, no reason to think about it again. But the truth is different. STIs do not care how many birthdays you've had. They do not retire when you do. Let me share the story of Caroline, age 68. After her husband passed away, she spent 5 long years living in grief. Her world felt smaller, quieter, emptier. Then one Sunday afternoon at a church gathering, she met Robert, a widower. Gentle eyes, a kind smile. 2 lonely hearts slowly found comfort in each other. They began with small things, walking side by side, sharing meals, holding hands. Then as time passed, closeness deepened. It felt natural, it felt right. Until one day, Caroline visited her doctor for what she thought was a simple irritation. The test results came back, and the doctor said words she never imagined hearing at her age. "You've tested positive for herpes." Her heart sank. Her mind spun. Her first thought was disbelief. At my age, how is that possible? But it is possible. In fact, more common than most realize. Here is the uncomfortable reality. Many older adults no longer fear pregnancy, so protection is often skipped. Few realize that oral intimacy also carries risk. And the most dangerous of all, many infections show no symptoms. They spread quietly, silently. We assume age brings safety, that an older partner is automatically trustworthy. That experience equals protection. But infections are not about age. They are about biology, and biology does not discriminate. So what can you do? Start with honesty. If you are beginning a new relationship or even reconnecting with someone, familiar, talk openly. Ask when they were last tested. Offer to get tested together. This is not awkward, it is respectful. And if a partner resists the conversation, take that as a warning sign. Next, protect yourself. There are tools, dental dams, condoms designed to keep intimacy safe without ruining the moment. There are tests that check for different infections. Knowledge is power. And remember, caution is not cold. Caution is care. Care is love. Protecting your health is an act of self-respect. It is a way of saying, I value my future. I want more days of closeness, not fewer. Caroline's story reminds us intimacy is not just about joy, it is also about responsibility. And that responsibility never ends, no matter your age. If this truth opened your eyes or even made you pause, type the number 4 in the comments. It is a quiet but powerful way of saying, I am still in charge of my well-being. Because once you take steps to protect your physical health, there is still one more truth to remember. A truth that does not belong to the body but to the heart. And it may be the most important of all. Truth number 5, emotional intimacy heals. When people think about intimacy, they often picture the body. But the deepest form of intimacy does not begin with skin. It begins with the heart. And at this stage of life, emotional closeness can heal in ways nothing else can. Let me tell you about Eleanor, age 72. She had always been the strong one in her family. She paid the bills, raised, the kids, managed the home. But after a mild stroke, everything changed. Her movement slowed. Her speech became softer. And what hurt most was not her body, it was the feeling of becoming invisible. Her husband John still loved her. He was kind and supportive, but between them a silence had grown. Neither of them knew how to cross it. One evening they sat side by side on their old sofa. No TV, no phones, just quiet. Eleanor reached out, took John's hand, and he looked back at her. No words were needed, no explanations. In that moment, something shifted. She felt seen again. She felt alive again. At this stage of life, intimacy is not only about bodies. It is about eyes that listen, arms that comfort, moments that whisper, I still see you. Science agrees. Physical touch, even when not sexual, lowers stress hormones. It improves sleep. It supports emotional health. It reduces loneliness. A simple hug, holding hands, or resting in someone's presence can restore the spirit. Emotional intimacy tells you you matter. Even when your body feels fragile, even when life feels heavy, closeness becomes a reminder that you are still loved, still needed, still part of the world. And if you are single, this truth still belongs to you. You can begin gently. Find a massage therapist who specializes in elder care. Join a senior program where companionship is part of the experience. Speak with a counselor who understands aging and relationships. Because wanting touch is not weakness, it is human. If you are partnered, you can begin again. Make eye contact, share a memory, take a long hug, hold hands more often. Sometimes that small act is all it takes to reopen the door to connection. Remember, this intimacy has no expiration date. Your body may change, but your heart still beats with the need for love. Emotional intimacy heals not only wounds of the past, but also fears of the future. So if this truth touched something deep inside you, type the number 5 in the comments. Let it be your way of saying, I still want to feel close. Because after all 5 truths, there is one final step left. A moment to breathe, a moment to reflect, a moment to remind yourself that you are not broken, not too old, not past your time. Now let's gather everything we've shared and gently move into the conclusion. Let's pause here. Take a slow breath and ask yourself what part of this conversation stayed with you most. Maybe it was the reminder that desire doesn't retire. Maybe it was learning that dryness has solutions. Maybe it was realizing that hygiene is an act of care. Or perhaps it was the truth that infections can still happen, no matter your age. And maybe most of all, it was knowing that emotional intimacy still has the power to heal. These are not small truths. They are lifelines. They are gentle reminders that you are not broken, you are not invisible, you are not past your time. You are still a living, breathing woman. And that means you are worthy of love, worthy of touch, worthy of connection. So as you move forward, let these truths guide you. Speak to your partner. Ask your doctor the questions you once stayed silent about. Allow yourself to feel, because silence breeds shame, but honesty creates freedom. If this video made you feel seen, heard, or simply understood, I invite you to subscribe. This channel is more than content. It is a community, a place where nothing is too personal to be respected, a place where you can reclaim your voice and your worth. Thank you for sharing this time with me. Until we meet again, stay wise, stay gentle, and remember, it is never too late to feel close again.